was just getting into the every week this happens, right? Every week I'm like just getting ready to get my groove on and the music just
I love the music.
I love
I
the
love the
music
music.
too.
Love it.
Hey everybody. Hey, we're back. Listen, this week, can I just should I let them in on the inside? Oh,
Let them in.
this week we are here by the skin of our teeth, neck, arms. I listen, no eyes done.
Listen, I was like, I didn't put my lips on.
But we're here. Thank God. We're here. This is doing the doctorate. I am Dr. Kesslyn, and I am so thankful to be here. Y'all know that we truly believe in doctoral education and supporting folk through the doctoral degree. And this is one of the platforms that we use to help folk get through. But can I just tell you, I'm so thankful that I am not doing this show by myself. I have my sister girl who was here. We both go, listen, we go back a long way. But I am so thankful to have Dr. O in the house. I'm sitting here. She is absolutely amazing. She is an exceptional early childhood educator. She's a mompreneur. She is founder of STEM Early LLC, and she is a show stopping co-host with the coolest name ever. A-O. Hey.
Hey, oh,
Hey. What's
that's
up? How
me.
you doing? How you doing?
We're here. We made it. Like you said, I enjoyed our week off, and I'm glad that we
Yes.
took the time for the
Wait,
self-care.
we were off, but we were still together.
We were together.
People didn't see us, but we were together.
And it was so funny because, after everyone went to their services, Dr. Kesslyn and I got together, and the first thing we said was, we're not recording tonight, are we? Because we need to take our own advice to rest.
Self-care.
But listen, I had my Tam in my car just in case she said, we going to go upstairs into this room and record. Stay
Because
ready.
I did bring my laptop just in case, right?
Listen, with you, I always have to be ready. Because you never know.
Oh Lord, man. When I tell you it's been a week, so it's been 2 weeks, right? So let's see, where have I been?
All
I
over.
have been all over. I have been in Birmingham, Alabama.
Wow.
I have been up near your way.
Yep.
I have been in Chicago.
Chicago. Mm-hmm.
This week is another busy week, but all because I believe in this whole doing the doctorate thing. I believe in supporting people through. So it's been busy, and I know you've been busy too. What's been going on since 2 weeks
Well,
since the people have seen you?
a lot of training. I've been to Pittsburgh. I've been to New Jersey. I've been to Delaware, just doing a lot of training and also mommy things because my kids' spring break didn't coincide. So two
Mm,
of the kids had spring break one week and two of the kids had spring break the next week. And so I was
just
doing
gonna
this,
scratch my head on that.
juggling. So it's been good though. It's been good. I've also been supporting my husband who graduated from his fellowship where he's creating pathways to home ownership for
Whoop,
HBCU
whoop.
students. So shout out to my husband, love you, babe. Arthur Harris
Hey, Arthur, congratulations.
doing big things in the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So we've been quite busy as a whole family over the last 2 weeks. But I'm glad to be back to soak in some of your
Yeah.
wisdom.
Listen, we share that post that you put up for whenever the last time we were together. Man, that was such a good clip. Oh man, it was such a good clip. I'm like, she's talking about wisdom from me. No, we share this platform in sharing wisdom. Thank God.
Yes, yes.
Thank
And
God.
wisdom is not designed to what? Shrink time. So we're here to shrink time for you as you're
Yes.
doing the doctorate in this journey. So we're here to help. We're here to support. We're here to drop some pearls of wisdom to give you encouragement because it is definitely not a sprint. It
Mm,
is It is not a sprint.
It is not a sprint. It is not a sprint. In fact, that what you were just saying, talking about shrinking time, takes me to our doing the doctorate, our thought for the day. So I believe in affirmations. I believe in thoughts. I believe in sharing positive things. I believe in giving charges. And so every week after we do our check-in, I share a doing the doctorate thought. Now I post one on Monday. For those of you who follow me, you know that I post on Monday, and I post something usually on Thursday, but on Sunday nights we also share a thought. And so the doing the doctorate thought for tonight comes from Lee Iacocca. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Check it out though. It says apply yourself. Get all the education you can. Get all the education you can. But then, by God, do something. Don't just stand there. Make it happen. Hello. I'm going to read it again because some folk need to hear it again. Apply yourself, he said. Get all the education you can, but then, by God, do something. Don't just stand there. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Don't just stand there. Make it happen. Make it happen. There are so many folk, and I'll talk about this in a minute. This is what inspired the conversation for today. There are so many people. I'm in a lot of different groups, Facebook groups, and just conversations. And there are people who always ask about why they should get their doctorate. Is it even important? Why should we get it? We'll talk about that later. But I said this last time. What good is having a doctoral degree if you don't share in what you've learned?
Yes.
If you don't impact the world, if you're not making a dynamic difference in the world with your doctoral degree, then what good is it? You have all the knowledge in the world, but you're not helping anybody. What good is the degree, right? Apply yourself. Get all the education you can, but then, by God, do something. Don't just stand there. Make it happen. Oh, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I just think about so many people out there that are making it happen.
Yeah.
So many things, so many headlines. We talked about the Justin and Justin in Tennessee, and a lot of people can make excuses, right, about the things that are going wrong.
Yes.
But you have to do something, and in doing something, you may get pushback. The naysayers are coming out, but you can't use that as an excuse, like, oh, look what happened to them, and they spoke out, they got expelled, and they had to deal with all this stuff, or I spoke out, and the school board came against me and they tried to silence me. So people get scared about speaking out and doing something because they're afraid of the pushback. Let me just share something with you. You're going to get pushback.
Absolutely.
And
that could be a sign that you're doing something right.
That part.
Right?
That part. So don't make excuses, do something, and don't be afraid of the pushback. There was somebody mentioned a quote, sometimes our American philosophy is get all you can all you get, sit on the can, forget about the rest. And if you don't do something with your doctorate, that's exactly what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You're getting all you can. You're canning all you get. You're sitting on you're sitting on your research. You know that your research matters. And so because it matters, what are you doing with it? Like I did my research on teacher efficacy. So if I know all this stuff about teacher efficacy and how it translates to all these positive academic outcomes, and I'm not out here trying to increase the efficacy of teachers, then what's the point?
Absolutely. Some people get the doctorate just for the name, just to be called doctor. It so irritates me.
That's too much money. Like that's too much time, too much effort, and too much money to just not do anything with it.
Yeah. You said something that just reminded me of what I do. So my dissertation research was on, it was called Let the Church Stop Saying Amen, African American Clergy's Perceptions and Experiences with Domestic Violence.
Wow.
It was heavy. Yeah, it was heavy. a mixed method study.
Mm,
Every October, I dedicate the whole month
I love it.
to doing domestic violence work. I post about it, I present about it at least in October, usually more than October. But I'm like, what, if I have all this information and I'm not helping the faith community with what I have, if I'm not reaching out and sharing what I have with community leaders, actually I'm this is later in the broadcast, but I'm heading
Tell us,
down
tell
to
us.
Alabama to do the work. I'm
You do.
presenting at a child welfare conference on domestic violence and the impact of domestic violence on child welfare. This
Mm,
is what I do,
yes.
right? Getting all the education you can. But if I
Mm,
don't do something with the education that I have, then it is a total waste in the earth. So
mm.
use what you have, and
There we
your
go.
degree is a powerful opportunity for you to use it to change lives. I could talk about that forever. Oh,
But it's true because you are changing lives. You're changing, and you, Kesslyn, are changing the lives of those of us that change lives. So wow,
yeah. Thank
wow.
God. Someone messaged me this week and said, you know, and this is not to be haughty or arrogant or any of that. But I am so humbled when people reach out to me to say thank you because your post made a difference. Or I had a session this morning with somebody and she texted back and I said, thank you. I messaged her and said, thank you for giving me the opportunity to help you. And she said, no, thank you for
Mm,
helping me move to the next level to be able to help people. And I say it all the time, it really is all about making a dynamic
yes,
difference in the
yes,
world.
yes.
It
That's
is using all the education that you have to make an impact.
do something. Do
So,
something.
oh, and you do a lot. You listen. I don't even know how. I'm like, where are you today? Who are you talking to today? What training? What state? What group? Is it 3-year-olds or is it the teacher? Who are you? Listen, you do a lot.
Everybody. I'm trying
You
to apply myself and
absolutely,
do something because
yeah,
what I do matters and what you all do matters. So it's just
absolutely,
so important. And I love that quote, apply yourself, do something, do the work. And if you need help and you need encouragement, tune into this podcast.
absolutely,
Get in our community
absolutely,
so that we can encourage you to do something because
absolutely,
we need all the help we can get, especially in this
absolutely.
country, to make the world a better place, not just for us, but for our children. Like when I think about my children, I think about if I know that increases in efficacy makes teachers teach better and want to be there and be their best selves, and I'm sending 4 of my children through the academic institutions via private, public,
Yes,
whatever those institutions, they all have teachers. If I
yes,
know that and I'm not actively getting out there trying to increase that efficacy, knowing what I know, then I'm doing my children a disservice
yes,
and other children a disservice.
absolutely,
And like if
absolutely.
you don't get out there, you're doing churches a disservice. You're
Yes.
doing the faith
Faith
based
leaders.
community
Yes.
a disservice. If
Yeah.
you're not doing something, you
Yes.
have to do something with
Yeah.
your degree. And not just, oh well, you're not talking to me because I didn't defend yet. I didn't graduate. No. From application to graduation,
Absolutely.
apply yourself
Whoa, that's good.
and do something.
And whatever the graduation is, high school, middle school, undergrad, graduate, doctoral, do something. Did you get the message? Do something, right?
did we
Just
did
do
we
something.
did we hone it in enough?
Do something. I want to shout out those of you who are with us tonight. You are doctors, you're doing the work. We want to shout you out. We always do a doctoral roll call. So if you are with us tonight, please make sure that you put your name in the chat, in the response, just below. Put your name in. Tell us what your degree is in. Why? Because we want you to encourage other people. Like if they see that you could do it, then they may could do it too. So join us, hop in, let us know where you're from. Doc, there is a person that is wow. When I think about this person who is doing something in the earth, I am in awe of all of the lives that our doctor on duty
Mhm.
changes. This person,
Tell us about it.
man, this person impacts so many lives. It is amazing. And this, much of what this person does is behind the scenes. And let me just tell you
Mhm.
some of the behind the scenes stuff that this person does. This person has taken a group of young people to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
This person has taken a group of young people to Dubai.
Wow.
This person,
I didn't know
this
that.
person would say, and I can speak without, I'm going to look at the bio just because I don't want to miss anything. But I can tell you that this person has impacted my life in
Mm,
such an amazing way. Publicly, you may know this person as the number one motivational speaker in the world.
in the world.
Publicly, you may know that this person, and they would say they took 12 years to get a 4-year degree. And they did.
Mhm.
This person is someone I met when we were in undergrad together. I had a respect for him as a leader, and he had a respect for me. And I think we both knew in some kind of way that God had an amazing call on our lives. Now, I need some of the money that he has to be able to do, to be able to do a little more, but nonetheless, I digress. This person is absolutely amazing. He is a critically acclaimed author, a world renowned speaker, an educator, a pastor, an Audible Audie Awards finalist. He is better known as E.T. Uh,
ET.
E.T. Oh, let me just pause. No, let me finish his bio and then I'll tell you. There's so much more. Through a significant social media presence, regular domestic and international tours, E.T., the hip hop preacher, has become a global phenomenon. He is
Mm,
a CEO. He is in Fortune 500 companies, General Electric, Quicken Loans. You may have seen his Quicken Loans commercial. AT&T, Nike, Under Armour, New Balance, UPS, the basketball league and a football league and all the
all
listen
the
when I
league.
tell you that this all the leagues, this brother is amazing. And this is just the public stuff that you
Right.
see.
Right.
You may not ever know the tutoring that he does.
Hmm.
You may not ever know the free services he gives to high schools and middle schools. You may never know all of the work that Dr. Eric Thomas does, but please know that he is a change maker. He
Yes.
is making a
Mm,
dynamic difference in the world. And today, I salute that brother.
yes,
You
for sure.
know, I had yes, we were in undergrad together, but I had the opportunity to reconnect with him recently on a different project that he was doing that I was able to learn and glean from. And I said to him, I said, E, I said, E,
Love it.
I'm really struggling with telling my story. I was raised in a Southern home, a Christian home where you don't talk about your accolades, you don't talk
Mhm.
about your awards, you don't talk about all the stuff that you do. You just do the work. And so I'm really struggling with this PR thing and
Mm,
telling people the awards and the work and where I'm speaking and what I'm doing. And he was like, I get that because the motto of our university was and is enter to learn, depart to serve. He's
mm.
like, so I get it. But check this out. And this was a life changer for me. Dr. Eric Thomas said, but people will never know what you do and how you can help them if you don't tell them what you do and how you can help them. How are they supposed to find you if you don't tell them? How are you supposed to connect if they don't know? So, in order for you to carry out God's work, you got to let the people know what you're doing for God. It's not about you, it's about God and doing God's work. And let me tell you, Dr. O, that was a life. changing um, public-private conversation,
Yeah. Yeah.
changed everything. So now I don't have a problem posting about what I do for my business and the people that I'm helping because it's giving God glory. I can talk about that forever.
No, but
But
that's Dr. Burton. I'm just going to interrupt you. And he just said something. He said, and shout out to you, Dr. Burton. He said, that is
absolutely.
why your book is so important. And can you
Mm,
just share? Because let's take ET's advice. And I listen to
yeah,
him every morning because his
yeah,
YouTube videos are lit. So I listen to him
absolutely.
every morning. But I just want you to take a moment to share about that book because that book has already helped to change Dr. Burton's life. And maybe there are people watching tonight that don't know about your book. So just share a
Yeah.
little bit about that with us, please.
So my first book, and you know, when you're in in academics, you think about books being thick and rich and deep and right. And I'm like, I have information to share, but I didn't feel like what I had to share was worthy enough.
Mercy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, let me just take my
Good.
earphones out because they just keep falling out. But um, I was working with someone who said, just put down your points of wisdom.
Mm,
So I did, and I ended up with 120 tips for
okay.
how to get through your doctoral degree.
Love
This
it.
was my first book. And it's not deep. It has a journal in it. It has some very practical pieces, but it's just to help people get through, just to share points of wisdom.
Mm,
And then last year, so that was my first book, maybe 2 years ago.
mhm,
Last year, I decided I wanted to write a new book.
mhm.
And it's called doing the doctorate, what to know, where to go, and how to begin to win. And I wanted to
I
help
love
people
it.
get into
Get in.
doctoral programs
That's good.
and know what they need to know from the beginning so the
Yeah,
process won't be difficult.
that's so
I
good.
talk about how to get money. I talk about listen, I talk about everything that I think you need to know. And it's not difficult to read,
Mm,
but it's information that people have said time and time again. This is so helpful. And every time somebody says that, I'm like, God, I thank you.
yeah.
Because had it not been for Dr. Eric Thomas, there would there would be no book. Let's be
ET,
clear.
the ultimate motivator, motivated you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He said, and
Absolutely.
87 of those things I went through and made it through my. That's what I'm talking about, Dr. Burton. Shout it
And let me
out.
tell you, when I was in Alabama, I had a chance to we had a chance to sit down and have a meal together.
Yay.
It was
That's so good.
so cool.
That's
So
so good.
cool.
That's so good.
So,
And that goes back. His advice to you ties back into our quote for today. To
absolutely.
apply yourself to do something. And if you're not telling people what you're doing, where you're going to be, what resources and things that you offer, how can you help people if you remain silent? My friend,
Absolutely.
Sheldon Barlett Rumor of This Is It TV, which is a global
Mhm.
digital network that inspires women with inspiring stories, her
Right.
tagline is, let's scream our dream. Let's no longer whisper our wishes, but let's
Mm,
scream our dream because too many people out here screaming the wrong thing.
powerful.
And I just
Wrong thing.
love that because if we don't scream our dream, those of us who desire to make the world a better place, to
Yeah.
be more positive, to make change, if we're too scared because we don't want to self promote and we
Mhm.
don't want anybody to think bad of us. But then there's other people out here on some straight foolishness, excuse me,
Yes.
that are
Yes.
screaming and loud and making headlines and making waves, and we're just sitting back and not applying ourselves. Can you
Mercy.
imagine if ET said, I'm not going to do the YouTube videos?
Right. Right. Thank God it's Friday would have never existed.
Listen, you know,
Ugh. Anyway, I when we're talking about people who are doing the work, he
he's the,
came to my mind
yeah,
immediately. But there are so many others who are doing the work. So if
absolutely.
you have a recommended a person to honor in this segment, Doctors on Duty, please email me, Dr. Kesslyn at the PhD Consultants. I would love for us to be able to shout out other people who are doing
The work
the work, who are doctors on
duty.
duty,
I
doctors
love
on duty. So, anything, any call for the doctors that you want to give? Not necessarily. We have a lot going on in this world. Woo, the Justins and the Justins are doing their thing in Tennessee. You saw that they got
I did.
reinstated,
I
right?
did. I saw they got reinstated. Something that hit me, that ties, I guess this is my call to everyone:
Yeah,
apply yourself and
sure.
do something. Something that one of the Justins said in one of the press releases was, it's not that they were trying to silence me, but the three of those, the three of them in Tennessee, he
Yes.
said they represent a total of 200,000 voters.
Wow.
So if
Wow.
they are silenced, are
Constituents are
silenced.
silenced.
So think about this. If
Mhm.
we are silenced, if we silence ourselves because we're scared, if we silence ourselves because we're too timid, how many other people are going to be disenfranchised because we're not doing the work? They were fighting not to get their jobs back. They
Right.
were fighting for over 200,000 voters' voices to continue to be heard. They
Mm,
did something, they did the work. And so, my call is, don't just think about you, think about who is your work connected to.
yeah.
Okay? Think about all the children that would lose out on the STEM experiences that STEM early provides because, I might not be good enough to go. And again, was I intimidated to partner with NACY? Yeah, it's NACY. Was
Yeah.
I intimidated to reach out to the DC branch of NACY? Yeah, I was intimidated. But if I didn't reach out, I wouldn't have been able to do the STEM thing that I did with over 56 3-year-olds. God help me, it was great.
Mm, mercy.
56 3-year-olds
Mm,
doing STEM activities
mm,
through a partnership with NACY. So my call, my charge to you is, do something, because it matters not just to you and not
yeah.
just to your immediate family, but there's hundreds of thousands and even millions of people that are going to watch this YouTube video years after we're long gone.
Yeah.
Let's think about that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't want to do the podcast because we're not going to get enough followers and we're too scared. But this is going to live in
But we
perpetuity.
were scared. We were scared when we started. Well, maybe I can't speak for you. I was scared. I was scared.
But this podcast is going to live in perpetuity, and my
Yeah.
children's 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 children. See
Mm,
what I'm saying? So the
yeah.
call is to do something, and don't just think about yourself, but think
Yeah.
about those that you touch. And listen, ET is doing the work, and he's touching millions and millions. And guess what? We are too, and we want
Yes.
you to as well. So that is my call.
Yeah.
Apply yourself, do something. Here, Joyce Meyer said, "Do it afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Do it afraid.
Period.
Period."
Yeah. That's good. Which takes me to our next segment, which I think is so important, the doctor's orders, right? This week, Doc, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups,
Mhm.
and there are people who were asking this week about whether they should get their doctorate. Was it worth it?
Mm,
Was it worth the investment? How much money did you spend? How much time did it take? I don't know that I'm cut out to be a doctor. I don't know if I should do it. And there were at one point I copied and pasted the same response in a few in a few groups because the question kept coming up. And I was like, let me share. Let me share why I think it's important. Not that your bachelor's is not important. It is.
mhm.
Your high school diploma, your GED is important, right? Your master's is very important. And I know everybody may not be called to do a doctorate, but this is why I think the doctoral degree is important. First of all, if you want career advancement, right? That's the
Mhm.
most practical thing. If you think you ever want to be in higher education, then you need to go ahead and get that degree. That is initially why I went to get my doctorate. My chairperson said, "Do you like teaching?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You're doing well with the masters, but if you ever want to advance,
Mhm.
you need to get a doctorate." To which I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to go back to school." I don't want to go, mommy. She's like, I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's your choice. You have a right to self determination.
I
However,
love her.
so career advancement. The other thing is, and there are, I don't know how many I said, 6 or 7. But the other thing is critical thinking, right? Critical thinking, digging, digging deep, really analyzing at a totally different level. It happened at the doctoral degree. The master's degree was learning information and applying. The undergrad degree, the master's degree was thinking about how you can apply what you've learned.
Mhm.
But at the doctoral level, you think critically and you create innovations that are steeped in critical analysis in a way that you may have never done before. You think about how people think,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
You analyze how people analyze the analysis of the analysis, right?
I
You
love it.
you create based on your understanding of a theory about a theory, right?
Mhm.
You just go, you just dig deeply. It is critical thinking magnified.
I love it.
You only get that, in my opinion, at the doctoral level. The third thing why you really should consider getting a doctoral degree: representation.
100%.
This is a soapbox moment. I feel it.
Listen, I'm gonna sit back and grab my pen because here it comes.
There are not enough doctors, specifically doctors of color, in the world. Period. I can give you some stats. I looked them up today. Trust me when I say that there are not enough doctors, specifically doctors of color, in the world. Let me see if I can give you some data, if I can find it, because let me see if I can find it. I think what I read earlier was that there were a total of 690 some doctors in one ethnic group. There were 290 some thousand doctors in the world. In the US, 14,000 of them were of African American descent out of 200 and something thousand. Did you hear what I said?
I heard it.
Let me
I
see if I can pull up, because I pulled it up. I definitely wanted to share. Here we go. And this came out in March of 2023.
Oh wow.
Okay. There are 108,082 white doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the white doctors. There are 22,533 Asian or Pacific Islander.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I said 14,000, 17,041 Black doctors, 16,465 Hispanic doctors, 5,769 doctors who identified being biracial, bi-ethnic, multiracial, 690, 690
Wow.
American Indian, Alaska Native doctors, 690, which takes me back to representation.
Yep.
It's not just enough um, to say there aren't enough of us. Here's the other reality: expertise. No one is going to do the research on whoever you identify as your people like you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a teacher, you're an African American teacher. No one is going to look at research on African American teachers and self efficacy through the lens of you and your experience. Nobody. I am a member of the clergy and I'm a doctor. I do domestic violence work. Nobody's going to look at doctors' perspective, clergy's perspective and experiences, Black doctors like me.
No.
Representation matters. Not only do people need to see your face, but people need to be impacted by your research and the lens that I feel some help coming.
Listen,
The
listen.
lens that you use to look at the issue and analyze it at its depths, at its deepest levels. Representation matters. Some little black girl who looks like me needs to see that, yeah, that's Dr. Kesslyn.
Mhm. Yeah.
I always introduce my children to my doctor friends as this is doctor. Not that anybody else is less important because everybody's name has a handle. I'm Southern. Everybody's name has a handle.
Everybody has a handle.
I need them to know that yes, you can become a doctor too. Absolutely. There are people who look like you. Just by saying doctor, some people will hear your message just because they hear doctor in front of your name.
Listen,
Representation matters.
It matters. And you said something.
Matters.
You said something I just want to piggyback on. It's the lens. It's the lens of the researcher, right?
Absolutely.
So in the world of education, now we have this whole thing, and I think Dina Simmons is the heading a lot of the research doing it. But it's the thing now that they're saying social emotional learning, SEL, is like white supremacy with a hug. So that's the big thing right now. So now all these people are looking at SEL with this critical lens saying, well, it's really perpetuating white supremacy. The thing is if SEL was created and the tools that were created and they were created by all white people, that's the lens in which they're looking, right? And so, and again, Whole Child Initiative, when we did our work with the NIEA, one of the researchers who was from, I can't remember what tribe she was from, she was a doctor. And she said,
that was powerful. You said that.
He said, what lens was this Whole Child Initiative developed? And I'd like to take a closer look at it to see what this whole child would look like for my children, the people in my tribe. So everybody comes at the research from their lens. So if you're white, you're coming from a white lens. If you're black, you're coming, you know what I mean? So that's why we need everybody at the table representing what it is that we're digging into and how we're going to make our society better. We need everyone at the table.
And that's why we need doctors of color at the table.
At the table.
You need to be at the table. Your voice, the voice of your people.
Yes.
It matters. Representation.
It matters. And somebody just put in the chat the Audre Lorde quote. And I was reading that and it says, dare to be powerful. Dare. That's a perfect quote for what we're talking about tonight. Dare. Thank you, Penelope, Dr. Williams, the future Dr. Williams. If you're not already, dare to be powerful. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So my fourth point was changed. You know, we can talk about representation
all day. A whole
fourth point was changed. The reality is and I said this in representation, some people will only hear your voice and your message and will only consider changing if you have doctor. And it may be a sad truth, but it is true.
It's true.
Right? The fact that you have doctor in front of your name speaks volumes. And then there's the expertise. I say this, someone said it to me and I share it. When you finish your degree, you truly are the only person in the world who has done the research in the way that you've done it, using the lens that you've done it, with the findings that you've done. You are the expert in your area, period. And your expertise is needed. Your expertise is needed. When they're calling on folk who have an understanding of faith communities and domestic violence, they call me.
Yes.
They call me to, my brother asked me about this the other day, to testify before Congress. This is my area of expertise. I am the expert. Now, there are other forerunners, and I give homage to Dr. Trisha Bent Goodley and so many others who have done this amazing work. She empowered me to do this work. Your expertise makes a difference in the world. It's needed. When you're talking about teacher efficacy, You're calling Dr. O because she is the expert. She is the expert. And O tells this story. I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. O, when
Well, it,
she defended her dissertation, she was such an expert by that point that they had no questions for her. She had written that thing and done so well, they had no questions for her. She was the expert. So your expertise is needed. Now, this is the other piece. This is the last piece I'm gonna say in this call to the doctors. I don't believe
mm,
you need to be broke, go in debt to get your
well,
doctoral degree. I
say
just don't I don't believe you should go in debt. There are a lot of predatory doctoral programs.
say that.
I have a person who got her doctorate in less than 6 months. Did you hear what I said? There are a lot of doctoral programs out there. There are some really good quality programs that will pay you to be there.
Yep.
So, let's talk about how you can get your degree for free. In fact, I'm having a free seminar.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
figure out
I
when
was
the
gonna
date
say,
is.
make sure you shout that out.
Let me talk about the free, how to get your degree for free. When did
Yeah.
I say it was going to be? Let me go back. You know, I
You
got to look
listening,
back at my
Dr.
notes.
Williams? All right, Penelope.
Okay, it's
Listen.
going to be on May. Oh, yes. May the 5th, virtually. I would say May the 5 at 5, but people are just getting off work at 5, so I may have to push it back. But it's going to be virtual. And then on the 7th, I'm doing a doctoral success seminar in Washington, D.C. And I'm also going to talk. A part of that session is going to be on how to get your degree for free. Yes, we need you to get your doctoral degree. Absolutely. And you can get it for free. There's some you go woosah. All right, good. I would love to be able to support. I would
Yeah.
love to be able to support you. I would love to be able to support you. I'm also doing, because I do believe in, this is going into our next segment, but I also believe in supporting, and I find I give as many free resources as I can. So this is our Dr. House calls. Where are we gonna be and what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
On June 1st through the 4th. I'm going to host a summer doctoral writing retreat. A writing retreat. There are so many people who say, I can't write, I don't have time, I can't pull away. This is the time for you to pull away, to write. And I can tell you that those writing retreats have been so beneficial for folks. So you're going to hear more about the writing retreat, but right now, put it on your calendar, June 1st through 4th. 1st through 4th. And then Doc, I'm gonna be, I do something kind of crazy and off the wall every year for my birthday. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I figured out what I'm gonna do.
What we doing? What we doing? It's always so
Tell
fun
it
every
yet. I
year. It's
can't
epic
tell it
every
yet.
year.
Oh, I might, you and I have been talking for 2 years about doing something on Juneteenth.
Mhm.
My birthday is June 22nd. I'm thinking that, something good might be happening around that time.
Uh-oh. Stay tuned. Look at that teaser. We all excited.
So I'll let you know. I'll let you know. And what do you have going on, Doc? Lord,
So
again, we have run over our time. It's okay.
you know
What do
that's
you
what
have
we
going
do.
on? That's what we
So
do.
that's what we do. So I have a series of trainings that I'm doing from home, but I'm also going to Greensboro, North Carolina for the Smart Start Conference. And I'll be
Nice.
speaking there to teachers on how they can move from parent and family engagement to parent and family empowerment. And really,
Mm,
how do we shift that lens, giving power to the parents and the
mhm,
family instead of just
mhm,
they're always turning to us, but really empowering them because they are the ones that are going to be with the child from the womb to graduation. So they need to be empowered in this journey as well. And then I'll be at the Maryland State Child Care Association conference, which is in Ocean City, Maryland. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, a little
because
jealous. A little
because it's
jealous.
right
Okay.
on the beach. It's right on the beach. And also
Whoa.
the Maryland State Child Care Association, they put on a fabulous conference because they think about the participants and they put just as much care into the sessions that they offer as also building community. Like last year,
Mm.
we had a bonfire on the beach.
Oh, wow.
So nice. So, well, I'll be
Wow.
speaking there about the same topic. And then also, I'll be talking about mindfulness and anti racism and how we can
Mhm.
create these anti racist communities in early childhood. So,
That's awesome.
first to Greensboro, then to Ocean City, and a lot of trainings from home in between.
Wow. That's, you know, doing what we do, right?
For sure.
So I'm going down to Huntsville, Alabama.
Yes, Huntsville, come through.
Went to Birmingham, Chicago, now Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm so thankful. I get to wear two hats. I get to talk about my research in intimate partner violence and in child welfare, but I also get to represent my wonderful organization and encourage people of color to get some money, specifically social workers,
Mm,
masters and doctoral folk, to get some money to get their degree. Money, support. It is a wonderful program, the Minority Fellowship Program. So
nice.
I'm super excited about anytime I get to talk about either of those things and make a difference
Yes.
in the world. So listen, we have busy weeks.
Yeah, we
We
do.
have, we
But
needed
we'll be
last
right
week.
back here next Sunday night.
We'll be back. We haven't gone anywhere. We'll be back. Well, I mean, we did take a week off, but but we'll be back. We'll be back. I am so thankful. Oh, we did it. We made
We
it
did it.
through.
We did it.
Listen,
We
God,
did it.
God
And
is
thank
amazing.
you to everyone watching. Thank you to everyone watching. And
And
thank
all of
you
our
to
and
everyone
all of our
watching on the replay.
yes, and I was going to say all of our folk who follow us. Where can they find you?
You
Where
can
can they
find
follow
me
you?
everywhere you see at STEM Early. One
Yes.
word. STEM Early. Facebook,
STEM early.
Instagram,
And I'm Dr.
Twitter.
Kesslyn everywhere: Facebook, IG, YouTube, Twitter.
All of them.
Uh, yeah,
You on
I'm Dr.
TikTok yet?
Kesslyn. Say it again.
Are you on TikTok yet? Come on
If
now.
there's a young person who wants to help me be
Come
on the
on.
tick and the talk,
Come on. Let's help Dr. Kesslin get on
come
TikTok,
on, bring
y'all.
me over
Come
to the
on.
tick and the talk. Oh, mercy.
We need your wisdom there too. We need
All right.
representation. Representation. You just said it.
Oh, did she just turn my own words against me? No, in a good way.
In a
I
good
hear
way.
you. I hear you. Our producer is like, mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Oh, so much, so much. But anyway, it's been great. It's been great. Thank you, for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jones, behind the scenes, for all
Yes,
that you
thank you.
do. And you all keep following us. We're growing and we're growing and we're going and we're doing some amazing things. I'm going to end with what I end with every week.
Yes.
My call to you is remember that the doctoral degree is not merely a degree of intelligence. It is a degree of persistence, and we are here to help you persist. Why? Because your research matters. Your research matters. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Love you, Mom, Dad. Talk to y'all soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.